I'm curious about the importance of genre to readers. This is a question that only recently came to the forefront of my mind, although in retrospect it probably should have been evident as a question almost 20 years ago. I remember taking my son Colton to the Barnes & Noble one evening to pre-order a copy of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. While we were there, I noticed a new section of the store. The aisles that were previously labeled with the age-old classic assignments of science fiction, fantasy, romance, fiction, cooking, history, and self-help were now joined by a section with the oddly specific title of teen paranormal romance. My reaction was, what the actual fuck? I wasn't upset by what the category was so much as the oddly specific niche nature of it. It felt exclusionary. It would be as though the science fiction section was suddenly joined by an entire aisle that was just hard sci-fi featuring female presenting robots rising up against unsafe working conditions in chemical factories in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts. Don't get me wrong, I knew why it was there. I knew what had brought it about. But it was still shocking to me that a genre had been niched down to the point that you had an entire aisle for one trope. I wasn't even angry about it, just flabbergasted. And then I forgot about it for like 20 years. Until last month. Suddenly, I'm seeing this thing on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. This trend where romance authors are getting ridiculed for not having the right level of spice, i.e., explicit sex, in their books. People are arguing over the term spicy versus steamy. What constitutes a clean romance? Authors being told what their covers are allowed to look like. And it all got me thinking about this again. Because have we, as readers, become so entrenched in a single, specific, niche genre that we're offended when we accidentally read something else? Have we gotten to the point where everybody just wants to read a vaguely disguised version of the same book over and over and over and over again? I mean, if you're claiming to read 100 books a year, but it's really just the same book with a new cover and the character name swapped out, are you really? Look, I'm not trying to shame anyone, and I'm not here to yuck on anyone's yum. If you have a specific taste in fiction, whatever that is, whether it's science fiction or fantasy or thrillers or romance or mysteries or historical fiction, whatever it is, fine. And if that's all you want to read, okay. But when you niche that genre down to the point where there's no room there for any kind of creative freedom, no room for exploration, well, then I wonder what's even the point? Look, I'm not saying that I'm a wildly diverse reader either. I love science fiction, specifically hard science fiction. But I'm really not into fantasy. I like mysteries, but not so much those cozy mysteries. I love thrillers. That's what I write. I love reading them, but I get bored really fast with first-person domestic thrillers, even though I'm outlining one right now. And I love a good haunted house story, but I don't have much use for the rest of horror. That said, that is still like a breadth of genre opportunities. And even within those specific subgenres that I mentioned, I'm open to all sorts of different retellings and different ideas and different explorations and exploring the extent that you can stretch those genres. I'm not limiting myself to haunted house stories told from a male perspective in 3-bedroom manors in Connecticut. No wonder it's so hard to market a book these days. I write what I call modern noir thrillers. That shouldn't be a tough sell. Thrillers sell well, and the noir aesthetic really colors most of the mystery and thriller genre out there today. But if I have to market to readers who only want thrillers about a divorced woman leaving an emotionally abusive relationship, moving into her own place, finding a too good to be true man, while also trying to start up her own marketing business, well, in a word, I'm fucked. I think the Netflixification of everything, the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram algorithm based notion that we should only be shown the one thing that we are specifically interested in and be shown that same thing over and over again, I think that that's bad. I think it's harmful to personal development, harmful to the industry as a whole, and I think we should be fighting against that. I think we could get a lot from reading something outside our comfort zone. Read something that isn't just comfort food to make you feel good without having to think about it. Not all the time, not even most of the time, but sometimes. Just enough that when you stumble across something that doesn't feel exactly like the last 10 books you read, you don't immediately throw it across the room in disgust and feel the need to go online and berate the author for tricking you into reading something different. So that's my challenge to you. Finish whatever book you're reading right now, enjoy it, go, leave a rating and a review, and then pick something different. Not even wildly different. I'm not asking you to go from teen paranormal romance to World War I historical fiction. But how about trying to go from teen paranormal romance to YA horror without romance? You know? Just for the lols. So that was my op-ed from my newsletter, WIP, this week. If you thought it was interesting, if you want to read more like that, or if you'd like to try out my fiction, go ahead and subscribe over at Substack. My name's Neil Christensen. I write noir thrillers, and right now I'm sharing my work in progress, Bishop Church, on my Substack every Friday.